All right, we're going to dive into a chart that I'm calling a Super Capricorn Soul. Yes, you're seeing this correctly. We have a very significant stellium of energies in Capricorn here that we're going to discuss and look at. Now, this chart is for December 29th, 1989. So, those of you born in late 1989, you would have these outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn, in Capricorn. But as we moved into Capricorn season of 1989 and into 1990, the sun would also have been there, signifying it was a lifetime of self-development, working with these contradictory and really big Capricorn energies. Plus, in this chart, you can see we have Mercury and the moon. Obviously, they're going to move on, but they are personal planets here that are important for this particular chart. So we have the 6 planets in Capricorn, and then you'll notice on the other side of the chart here, Jupiter and Chiron in Cancer. Quite the chart, right? So let's discuss it here, because when we see charts that have such a focal point of energy to them, this can be very intentional at a soul level. And of course, that's the astrology that I practice and that I believe in, is that this is an intentional soul choice to be here and work with Capricorn energies and frequencies in multiple ways, because each planet holds a different expression of Capricorn themes. So Capricorn is the 10th sign of the zodiac wheel. It is cardinal Earth that's here to move ahead in the world, make things happen based on the reality of what is, to work with experiences, to create something that's effective and long-term, to understand that it takes time and effort to climb that mountain, and that it's climbing the mountain that a lot of wisdom is obtained and learned. And so the Capricorn energy often comes into its own after the first Saturn return, as Saturn is the ruling planet of Capricorn, and it takes Saturn about 30 years to move through the full natal chart. And when Saturn returns to its placement, this is when that Capricorn energy really feels like there's a new sense of what I can do in the world, what I'm here to create, accomplish, and experience, how I want to be known, and what I'm connected to that drives me forward. That Capricorn energy is very ambitious, has a desire often to be seen or to be known. It can signify public standing, job status, titles, what you want to do in the world and how others view you as a result of your efforts. And so when we have, again, a strong lineup of planets in Capricorn, it's looking at how each of these plays a part in forming life purpose and in what you're choosing to accomplish and move towards that matters to you. And with so many different planets involved, there can actually be confusion here around what am I meant to do in the world. I feel a sense that I'm here to do something big, especially when the outer planets are in Capricorn. I'm here to be in business. I would say this chart especially can be a strong entrepreneur with that Uranus conjunct the sun, and a sense of I need to do it my way, learn it my way, apply it, and create in a way that is in alignment with my values and what I'm really drawn to. Now, we also have not only that Uranus conjunct the sun, right? Which means it's about freedom, to be your own boss, to be your own soul, and to work with your own personal authority. But then we bring in this Neptune, and you can see here that Neptune's at 11 of Capricorn, Saturn is at 15 Capricorn, so they were previously conjunct in late 1989, and so that is a 36-year synodic cycle, Saturn conjunct Neptune, and we're also moving towards that in 2026 when both Neptune and Saturn will be conjunct at the beginning of Aries. Okay, so this is actually the last time, the previous time when Neptune and Saturn were conjunct was here in Capricorn in 1989. And when it's in a birth chart, Neptune can bring in confusion because Neptune doesn't want to do things the same way that Saturn does. And then you have this Uranus energy, which doesn't want to follow the rules or tradition, wants to establish new ways of climbing the mountain and of moving ahead. And so here you have a strong Neptunian influence that is meant to lift you up out of what the Capricorn, it's like I was going to say Capricorn ideals, but what the Capricorn structure has been. And Neptune is here to guide you into a different pathway that you create as you go. And then you're putting down the structures. I'm seeing putting down those brick pavers as you create it and build it. All of this is a lot of influence on the sun. That sense of self, your personal self-concept of what you're good at. And it can feel like, again, you're here to do something in the world. Work is important to you, dedication, being a part of something that's worthwhile and important, that takes you where you want to go. And yet there's all these energies that you have to pay attention to. And when a soul has their sun working with the outer planets like this, they're also connecting to much bigger frequencies than themselves, and they're also holding deeper generational imprints, especially related to, in this case, the family. So we have, again, that strong Capricorn, and then you can see there's the opposition from the planets in Cancer. And the Cancer-Capricorn axis is family, generational lineage, where one comes from. And the Cancer energy is home, your first experiences of the nuclear family, the tribe, what you had to endure with this Chiron in Cancer, where there was a sense of not always getting your needs met, perhaps some difficulties in the family home, with parents, with other siblings, just in the environment, that maybe even pushed the individual into Capricorn, where it's like if being at home or if the family dynamics are messy, uncomfortable, unsafe, or uncertain, then it's like, okay, I'm going to forge out into this area, into these energies in my life and focus on this. So it could be like leaving home at an early age. Now, Jupiter is there, of course, and Jupiter is meant to bring in trusting how you feel. With the Chiron dynamic, it can amplify what those crisis points were, what the injuries or wounds were. They're not conjunct per se. I mean, they are, 9 degrees apart here, but they're both retrograde and they're both internalized. So energies were deeply internalized that maybe you didn't feel safe to say what you need or express what you were feeling. And so it pushes the energy into Capricorn, where, well, I'll take care of it. I'll go get a job. I'll get on with my life. I'll focus on what I can control. I will take control of what's in front of me and what I can manage and get on with my life. So there could be something here in the home environment that was cut off or that was no longer accessible. And this could, of course, be something within the individual's psyche or emotional self, where it's like, well, I don't think I want a family, or I don't want kids, or I don't want to recreate anything I went through Instead, I'm going to focus on this and build this up and move in the world in ways that I control and that I manage. There can also be a desire to cut off one's vulnerability, emotions, heart, personal needs as well, with the extreme dynamic that's in play here. So the focus on Capricorn is that I'm going to set out into the world, do my own thing, do it my own way. But because it's deeply connected to the family axis, I feel that these are individuals who are here to change the family lineage. And maybe they are carrying, I'm seeing it as these frequencies and codes from elders, mentors, and other people in their life where they're feeling pushed to have more success than those before them. I'm going to make my grandma's dream real. I'm going to do this in honor of my great-great-grandfather, or I'm going to do something in the world that my father couldn't do or my mother couldn't do, and I'm going to do it and carry it. There's a carrying of energy here on that sun, and a sense of really taking one's life seriously and taking one's path seriously. Now, we can also see in this chart that especially these two, Neptune and Saturn, sextile this Pluto, 17 degrees of Scorpio, that brings in that emotional drive and focus. I'm going to make it happen. Nothing's going to stop me. I do see this as beneficially helping that Chiron wounding, and that at some point in the life, in one's life path, this Pluto is going to interact more intentionally with this Chiron and bring in more healing. This could be a counselor, therapist, psychologist, healer comes in to discuss what happened in early childhood, to change up this energy and the emotional wounds that are being carried, and then it shifts the energy permanently. But I feel that with this particular chart, it has to be activated, meaning this Pluto has to be activated to interact with Chiron by transit. And so this can occur with any transit to Chiron, especially the Jupiter return, that opens up what's really being felt here that was locked away or shut down. And then this Pluto in Scorpio brings in the correct person to discuss vulnerable, intimate matters with. But there has to be a willingness to go there, because if this part of one's energy has been cut off or fractured away, then this individual would be definitely operating and living in the Capricorn energies here. And not only is it strong Capricorn, but you have this Mars in Sagittarius sextiling this Venus in Aquarius. This particular aspect can open up more fun, travel, desire to travel. I think of this as remote work. Nothing's going to hold me down. No one's going to hold me back. I'm going to do my own thing. This Mars in Sagittarius is the marathon runner, the long distance walker. It's like I have some wanderlust, so I want to be able to work and move at the same time. I don't necessarily want to be stuck at a desk, especially with that Uranus conjunct the sun. I want to be able to have my freedom, but I take it seriously in terms of what I'm here to build. So I'm feeling like, okay, before I get to that, I have to note that this individual, and by the way, this is not a particular person. This is just a chart I pulled up, but I know some of you will have this in your charts. These souls, these super Capricorn souls, endured very intense Pluto and Capricorn transits, right? They were getting hit, bombarded with Pluto conjunctions here. Pluto entered into Capricorn 2008, 2009. And so definitely by 2010, 2011, this Pluto conjunction was moving through and changing up all of those life goals and plans, destroyed them, brought them to the ground. There could have been some really hard professional experiences, businesses crashing, companies floundering, things not happening, even if work was put into them and finances were received, the funding was received. It would have been like crashing down as Pluto came across all of these planets and would have destroyed what one thought was their life purpose and life goals. And when there's a superstellium like this, it means the life path has more ups and downs, more drastic ups and downs, higher peaks and lower valleys. But at a soul level, what I'm seeing here is that after those Pluto and Capricorn transits went through and wiped out this person's whole sense of self and wiped out their concept of what they were here to do in the world, now there is a frequency match potentially with building in the new earth frequencies. So I'm seeing this as the new earth builders that have a reference point of what it was before and what it can be next, where that Capricorn endurance it doesn't stop. It keeps coming. It keeps showing up to say, no, now this is what I'm going to do. Now this is what I'm going to build. Because you've been through, it feels like this dividing line on the planet. You've been through what it was before and what it could be next. And so these strong Capricorn energies, they get refueled and connect with a new purpose that I feel is an up-leveling of the soul mission. And each of these planets starts to come back online, but at a new level. And I'm seeing this as, again, new reference points. We're like, okay, previously, before this Pluto and Capricorn transit, this is what I would have thought, or this is what I invested in, this is what I wanted. Now, after that Pluto and Capricorn came through and just took out all these parts of my life, I'm now ready to build from my more evolved state and my more transformed state. And part of what is needed here is that it's about this Capricorn energy also integrating in the oppositional Cancer energy. And so if this Capricorn energy stays distant from this Cancer part of oneself, that's where a coldness can develop. I'm seeing it as a cold heart, a frozen heart, that is out of touch with this part of oneself that is the precious inner child who also has messages and things to say. So I feel like after the Pluto and Capricorn transits not only went across and made conjunctions to all these energies, but then opposed Chiron and Jupiter and Cancer. There's meant to be a deep rebirth here where the individual then integrates both sides of themselves and say, okay, this is where I came from. This is how I grew up. These were my first emotional imprints. And maybe they weren't so great, or maybe, they brought up some things that I didn't have the tools to handle. But now as a fully rebirthed, transformed adult, you invite the oppositional energies into the conversation, and that's where they meet, is here in the middle. Okay, they meet in the middle point of the opposition, coming to the table to discuss, meet each other, and see how the energies can be equally honored. So when you have a superstellium, there are some very clear and poignant life themes that emerge because the energy is all together on one side of the chart. You can see in this chart, it's the 9th and 10th houses. And with the superstellium, the transiting planets continue on. Now, this individual would have had some big activations with transiting Uranus in Taurus, 2018 to 2026, making trines, bringing in the next options, resources, endeavors, how to be more self-sufficient and self-reliant, what you need to do on your own. There is also the squares from transiting Chiron in Aries that is squaring those Capricorn planets. So overall, there is a deep reprogramming that has taken place that has been painful and devastating. And now it's time to move forward and move on with the new purpose, new desires, new goals, and what you want to accomplish that also wasn't available to you now. And that's part of understanding Pluto transits, is that there are going to be doors that open on the other side, but it's only available on the other side. And so I guess I want to give a round of applause to those of you who have a Capricorn stellium of any kind. Again, this is late 1989 into early 1990, probably even 1991. You have endured a lot, and you've had to handle it and redefine yourself in some very big ways that other people don't even know about. They don't know what you've been holding or carrying. But now the energies are moving on and moving forward. The intensity has passed. And after that superstellium has experienced intense transits, you're meant to have this soul rebirth. So allow yourself to become the next version of who you are. And to also connect with a spiritual understanding that supports you so that you can have peace around the endings, turmoil, destruction, whatever changed in your life over such a big span of time, to find peace with it, which can take time, but to find peace with it in order to move on and focus on now what you're here to build in the new energies. I have another chart I'm going to do for you that is the Super Aquarius soul. So that will be coming on my channel shortly. And again, you can find these under my playlists called Astrology Charts by Birth Years.